I'm gonna get distracted and focused on that, and then my brain's gonna feel all fuzzy. I got that idea from Dream, actually. I found shonen, and I never looked back. So, about that. Hey, what's that behind you? I was immediately like, well, this is mine now. I'm yoinking it.
Welcome to the show. I'm Spentaneous, and this week I got to sit down with FinnSowle. And it's important to make this clear. This is not a Let's Play, all right? This is a podcast. Just while we're talking, we happen to be playing on a hardcore Minecraft server. If Finn dies, this episode ends immediately, and Finn will never be able to join the podcast again. And if I die, the podcast is over forever, and there will never be another episode. Only my guest and myself can play on the world while it's live, and we are not allowed to reference or react to anything going on at the server at any time. So join us as we hang out and get to know our guest a little bit better. And who knows, maybe someday we'll make it to the end. Finn, it's fantastic to have you. Thank you so much for joining.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, for those that don't know, from the description I already mentioned just before here that I'll be recording after, this is Finn. How do you pronounce your last name?
Sowle.
Sowle. Oh, I kept telling everybody that I knew. I'm like, oh, there's this cool person I met, FinnSowle.
No, don't worry. A lot of people say that. It's okay though. I forgive them. I forgive you.
Well, I'm very excited to have you on here. We've only just recently met and started doing a little bit of content stuff together. So I'm pumped and excited to see where things go.
Yeah, I saw that you did a lot of YouTube, and I was like really excited because I was like, oh hey, another YouTuber. Let's go. It's about time.
Yeah, it feels really rare to bump into someone that I don't mean for this to sound bad to many other people, but just posts regular content and is a smaller creator.
Yeah, like they're still figuring it out.
So I was really curious because this is one of my favorite things to ask people. And how did you first start playing Minecraft?
How did I first start playing Minecraft?
Because it's been out for a very long time.
Ooh, boy. Okay, you guys are gonna hate this answer. So I actually didn't really play Minecraft growing up, like at all. I didn't have a lot of like internet access and stuff, and so the 1 hour a day I was allowed towards my high school years, I spent watching anime. You bet I did.
Yeah, that is not a bad answer at all.
So I didn't actually play much Minecraft. It went in a weird order where I had randomly gotten a corpse husband video on my YouTube feed, and I watched that and I thought he was cool, and then I watched Among Us when at the start of the pandemic, so I watched Corpse Husband, and then I watched him interact with a bunch of his other content creators, and then I saw a Dream video because I think Dream did one recording, and then in that I found Tommy in it. And then it just kind of devolved from there, and I watched a bunch of the Dream SMP stuff, and then one time at the end of a Tommy in It stream, he said, "Go do something productive," and I was like, "Yeah, go do something productive," and now here I am.
Wow, so you're a rather fresh Minecraft player.
Oh yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing like 90% of the time, but it's great because I'm doing it anyway because I want to. I don't have anyone else impacting me, you know?
So is it watching other people playing the game and going through their experiences, is that kind of what drew you then to Minecraft versus doing something else with Tommy and its inspirational speech for you?
Yeah, kind of. I really enjoy... hold on, I might have... Never mind, I'm gonna... Yeah, okay. So there's a little bit of that. I really enjoy watching other people play and have fun, because then I'm like, oh, hey, that looks fun, and then I like having fun. So it kind of works out.
Okay.
Indirectly absorbing their enjoyment and then stealing their ideas, like all good criminals do.
So when Tommy and It told you to go become a content creator, essentially, did you have any thoughts of going in a different direction, or did you try anything else besides Minecraft first? No, I like Minecraft because you can be a faceless content creator. I say this as I like half face reveals. Like I wore a mask, so it doesn't count. Okay. But I don't. Yeah, but like you can mostly be faceless. And there's a lot of content you can do with Minecraft. Like there's a big variety. Like when I got into it, I got into it. I don't know if you hyper fixations, man. Like when I got into it, I got into it. And it was the only thing that mattered. You would eat, breathe, and sleep Minecraft.
Yeah, basically. And there's just a lot of variety that you can do with it, because like of the sheer mass of modding and the different versions and whatnot. So
That is true.
So yeah, I really like Minecraft. I was like, it's not a dead end. I won't have to find a new game and learn that new game every single time I want to do something.
Yeah, especially since I think anytime anything new comes out, there's always a Minecraft mod that shows up for it later.
Yep.
And my favorite one I saw was you can basically play Dark Souls and Demon Souls in Minecraft now.
Oh.
So it's yeah, with the combat and
I've seen some Demon Slayer stuff, yeah.
Oh,
now that I think
Demon
about it,
Slayer
I have
too. I forgot about that.
Yeah. And then there's also conveniently One Piece mods. Did you know that on Tuesdays and Thursdays, look, I have to plug. That's like,
yeah, it's
like
fine.
a requirement.
You may not know this yet, but there's a link to your Discord for that in the description. So that people can go and watch One Piece with you.
On Tuesdays and Thursdays, I watch One Piece in my Discord. It's my dream now as a content creator to get 100 people all in a call together, and we'll all just watch One Piece, and it's gonna be amazing. I'm gonna share it with the world, and everyone's gonna go, yeah, pirates, and then we're gonna overthrow the government.
So from when you first started making content with your Tommy and It inspirations, have your inspirations stayed the same, or have they changed over the course of time? They've
kind of stayed the same, but they've also mostly had like additions. They've had additional impact stuff, but they've mostly stayed the same. For example, like Technoblade came in after I started watching some of the Dream SMP stuff, and then I love all of his content. His stuff is amazing. Phil's of Minecraft came a little bit afterwards because again it went from, you know, Dream, Tommy in It, and then Wilbursoot, and then Phil's of Minecraft's really cool. He's a really big impact now. Did you know he commented on one of my videos? That was really cool.
Yeah,
that was so cool.
When you stole the sun.
Yeah, he was like, hey, that's cool. And I was like, yeah, crimes.
I mean, it probably helps that I can't count the amount of shorts before then you were just like, Phil's of Minecraft.
Oh, okay. There was like a lot of pings, but like we're not going to talk about that. That's totally unrelated. Totally unrelated things.
Sorry. Totally unrelated.
Totally unrelated.
Do you have any routines that you go through when you're trying to get into your creative mindset before you go and start anything?
I try not to eat right before I record.
Wait, really?
Not like right before, because it makes my voice sound kind of like I just ate. So I try not to do that like right before I record. It's fine a little bit later.
Okay.
Like an hour or two before is good. I try to sleep before I do record. I do that, and then I also try to not do anything else at least a few hours before I record, because if I do anything else, I'm gonna get distracted and focused on that, and then my brain's gonna feel all fuzzy, and then I'm gonna have a terrible video recording. So like today, I made sure I slept like the past couple hours, so I'm fresh and ready.
Well, I've never heard that before. The not eating thing. That's interesting.
I got that idea from Dream, actually. I saw this thing where basically I found out that Dream, before his Manhunt recordings, would require, like, he required everyone to have eaten and drinking like an hour or two beforehand, and not right before the recording. And I was like, hey, that's a good idea. I did notice my voice sounded different. I had never really thought about it though.
Wow. I'm really curious about that. I'm gonna have to find out. Because I love eating food. I eat food all the time.
Food is really good. Now sometimes I do it for comedic value. Like I've recorded a video before and ate candy. Like when I was getting murdered by a thing, I just was like, candy.
Do you have... Okay, so when it comes to creating content, I think something that a lot of people struggle with is writer's block. Do you ever find, or I shouldn't ask if you find writer's block to happen, but how do you deal with it when you find writer's block starts to veer its corner? Or are you at a point where you haven't had to deal with that or encounter it?
Oh, I always have to deal with that. So I feel like I got a little bit of an advantage. I told you that I only had like an hour a day on the computer for a while, right?
Yeah.
growing up. So after I finished an anime, I got really into writing fan fiction about said anime because I didn't like how it went in canon, and I was like, well, I'm gonna change it. And
that's cool.
I read fan fiction where they're like, yeah, this character that died, they didn't die. And then I was like, aha, yes, this is lovely. And then I went ahead and started writing that myself, and you deal with writer's block a lot when you write. That's why it's called writer's block. So I learned ways to kind of combat with that. Like if you're focused on something else, literally just doing that other thing or writing about that other thing. Like maybe instead of writing it chapter by chapter by chapter, you just in your head, you're like, oh, it'd be really cool if this scene in the future happened. Writing that instead. So sometimes I'll like, man, I can't think of anything. So I'm literally just going to play this other game until my brain kind of like accepts like, okay, you can chill now and do that other thing. That way I'm not like forcing myself to trudge through it, you know? I don't know if that makes sense. Like any sense. But like literally just adding variety into your life can help a lot, I think. And then you just force yourself to on the flip side. You can just force yourself to do everything. And you cry a lot. You're just like, writer's block. Never knew her. And then
yeah, you gotta cry your way through it. That's how
you just sob a lot. 90% of the time you're just sobbing. That's the entirety of a content creator's career, by the way. It's just sobbing dramatically and a lot.
I don't like hearing that.
You don't like hearing that?
No, you make it sound like it's a painful and terrible thing.
It's an enjoyable painful kind of thing.
It's like a good cry.
Yeah, it's like a good cry. It's like cathartic. Like, yeah, I needed that.
Oh.
It's like, because you gotta, like, I don't know if you've ever been on a boat before, but it's boring. It's exciting for like an hour, and then you've seen the water, nothing's happening, the sun's just shining there. It gets boring. And I say this as a pirate character, you know? But like, you still want to go out and do it. You still enjoy being out there. You still enjoy doing those things. It's just kind of painful at the same time, because you're like, oh man, I have the next 7 hours to sit here and do absolutely nothing on this boat.
So have you done a lot of boating then?
No, but my grandpa fished. And he wouldn't let me touch any of the fishing poles. So literally, if you went with him, you just sat on the boat and you weren't allowed to touch anything. You did absolutely nothing. If you wanted to go, you could watch the sunrise.
That sounds miserable.
Yeah, but at the same time, because
fishing's boring already on its own.
Well, he was really engaged. He had a great time.
Oh well, like, I guess as long as he had a good time.
And when the sun first rises, it looks really, really pretty. And still, when it's dark, you can see the stars and stuff. And then, you know, the water always feels nice, like when it's rocking the boat. But again, yeah, after an hour, it gets like really boring. So, you know, I say that as it's painful, but it's still something that, you know, I enjoy doing, kind of. Like, so, in limitations.
All right. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. When so you're also a big anime fan, which
I am, yes.
Love to hear that. Do you remember what your first anime was?
I was introduced to anime from my older sister, who watched some Angel
Beats
thing. No, not that one.
Okay.
No, I watched that one later. No, it was I don't know, it was some like, there was a person who was like a singer, and then like there is this, she died, and then there is this angel person who was like, oh, your life isn't fulfilled, so I'm gonna keep you alive now, and then like until she fulfilled her wish or something. And that was kind of cool, but I didn't wake up in time to sneak onto the computer, because we had to do it illegally and without our parents' knowledge. So she would like sneak onto the computer in the middle of the night. Half the time I didn't wake up because we didn't have alarms or anything. So I missed like most of the episodes. And then later, one of my friends showed me the ever well-known Oran High School Host Club.
Oh, yes! Oh, you don't hear too many people nowadays that have seen that one.
But you know what I did then? I found shonen, and I never looked back. It was like a romance. Psh, I want to see someone punch someone else in the face.
Well, I hope you at least enjoyed the host club.
Oh, I did. It was very silly.
It's a special anime in my heart.
Yeah, it was very silly. I liked the twins. I thought they were funny.
I can't remember her name, but it was the girl that always come out of the ground going, oh, 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 oh.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna be honest, I barely remember it, but like,
oh, that's fair.
That's in like that one fancy. That was where they recorded the movie scene. I want to say like they had to record the scene, and then there was that girl that.
Yeah, well, she showed up a few different times.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that was one of the times that she did.
I barely remember it. It has been years.
That's fair.
But I'm pretty sure I remember her from like at least that scene.
So you've been watching anime longer than you've been playing Minecraft then?
Yes. Yep. Mm-hmm. And I always had to hide it from my mother because
the anime part?
Oh no. The anime part. If she came on, because the computer was upstairs. We were only allowed an hour a day, and half the time she would sit there and watch over my shoulder like a hawk. And if anything was on the screen that was suspicious,
I have to make sure she's not being influenced by anything terrible.
Yeah, she was like, what is that person doing? And I was like, oh yeah, so he's gonna fight this guy because he like stole something important. And then my mom was like, that's terrible. You shouldn't steal. And then I was like, yeah, that's why they're gonna fight. And then she'd be like, yeah, well, you're not allowed to watch it because you could now want to steal. And I was like, no, that's not. Oh, okay.
Well, she did a great job helping you not be interested in stealing or pirates.
Oh yeah, I'm not interested in any sort of crime at all. Like my favorite anime isn't literally about, again, ignoring the government, not doing taxes, general proper thievery, general crime behaviors. Definitely not influenced at all,
I never thought of One Piece as a show that was against the government, as in like the taxes part.
Okay, so maybe the taxes don't have anything to do with the government,
okay,
but like I feel like pirates definitely would not pay taxes. You can't tell me that a pirate would pay taxes.
Probably not. I was like, is that the direction they go with later on? Because you're several hundred episodes ahead of me.
Well, I mean, as far as I know, they haven't had to deal with any taxes. They have been tried to get charged before. People try to charge them money, and then they always just run away. They're like, hey, you owe us like $400,000 for destroying our city. And then they're all like, yeah, oh yeah. So about that. Hey, what's that behind you? And then they take off running.
Did you hear what happened to Linus Tech Tips?
No, I don't know who that is.
Okay, cool. Well, I won't use the reference then. But if you woke up tomorrow and you found that your YouTube channel was gone, there was no remains of it, there was nothing you'd be able to do to recover it.
Never mind. I know what you're talking about.
So if you were Linus Tech Tips, what would you, and you had, I think he got most of it back, but if you had to start over again tomorrow, is there anything you'd do differently?
Okay, I would start it off with a lot more tears because I am so close to monetization right now, and I would just immediately cry.
Dude, that's so awesome.
I'm like 200 hours away. I'm like so excited about it.
Oh, nice. Because how long ago did you make your account?
I made my account, I guess technically in like June, I want to say, of 2021, and then but I wasn't like taking it like really seriously right then. That was when I was just like, oh yeah, I gotta go do something productive kind of thing. I really started taking it seriously a little bit later, but like,
well, congratulations. That's really exciting.
Like I've only started posting consistently since like last year, the tail end of like last year, I want to say.
So then, realistically,
I posted every day,
you were close to monetization in a year, and that's pretty darn impressive. I think I'm
trying my best, man.
Yeah, from I think from what most content creators, I don't think they get like 1,000 subscribers in their first year, and that's usually how far they get after their first year of taking things seriously. You what?
Oh, taking things seriously. After taking things seriously, then yeah.
Yeah, I think it took me. Oh God, it took so long. I actually, believe it or not, your event that you held was on the day of my 8-year anniversary for creating my YouTube channel. I didn't realize that until after. Yeah.
Nice.
So it took me 8 years to get monetized.
I'm so close, man. I've been sitting here and I've been counting down since like I had like 3,000 hours left, and I was like, okay, I hit 1,000 hours. I just need 3,000 more. This is totally fine. And then every time it gets a little bit closer, I'm like staring at it, like squinting, like a little bit closer.
Like almost there.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do once you meet it? Because there's like, I'm assuming your goal right now is the watch hours. What do you do after that?
I'm going to put myself behind a paywall, and you know, like how you get Twitch subs. I'm gonna do that sponsorship thing or whatever, and I'm gonna call it Finn's Pirate Crew, and I'll have a special Discord, and I'll only communicate through there. People have to pay money to talk to me.
Oh, genius! I see nothing wrong.
Yeah,
happening
nothing will
from
go
that.
wrong. Nothing will go wrong with that at all.
No, it's perfect.
It's not nefarious at all.
You're gonna do great in life.
I know, right?
I think your channel is going places.
Thank you. I do try.
Do you know how much about how the monetization stuff works with Twitch?
So I used to be on Twitch. I used to like only be on Twitch. Like really like focused on Twitch, I want to say. So I have a good idea. I don't know all of the stuff that they've changed. Sometimes Gordius, who's that other creator that I
do crime with.
Sometimes they're all like, oh yeah, this thing happened on my monetization on Twitch, and I was just like, that makes sense. Yep. But
well, I was just curious because there's a couple things that YouTube does a little differently. I mean, with the watch hours and the subscribers being a lot higher up, but there's certain things that you can't activate for your monetization until you do certain things, like the channel memberships. You're not able to activate until you've uploaded like your first video. I think, what is it? I think it's like you have to upload a YouTube video talking about your memberships and like what the perks are and stuff like that, and then once you've done that, then they'll allow you to monetize. But I think they have to review it first too, or something like that. They're a lot. I don't want to say stingy. That's not the right word for it, but they're a lot more like.
I know they took half of all my money.
Oh, with Twitch?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Sorry, the stuff I was just talking about. That's all with YouTube.
Oh. I got distracted. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, no, you're all
super
good.
Distracted. I got like super distracted, so like I kind of tuned in only there at the end. Yeah, sorry about that.
No, it's all
and
good.
I was like, oh, we're still talking about Twitch. They took my money.
Well, because YouTube takes a portion of it as well too.
Yeah, but it only takes like 30%.
Well, I think it's is it 30% for everything?
Yeah, well, on the sponsorship stuff, so like the subs, when you do like a $5 sub on Twitch, they take 50%, and then on YouTube they only take 30%.
Oh,
like if you
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I thought they took 50% on that, and then you just made more with ads.
No, nope. Also, I think they have a higher ad cut on YouTube as well. I think. Oh,
I think
this is
so.
gonna be really awkward if I'm super wrong.
Well, no,
and I'm just
I think you are
wrong,
right.
But I'm like,
because there is a lot of stuff to do
right.
with ads between the two of them, where because of the system that YouTube has set up, they can bring in a lot more sponsors that pay for better stuff because they actually can have the ads geared towards specific people and like different demographics and audiences. And they have like the whole ad system set up. I don't remember the terminology they use for it, but it's a lot more set up for being able to deliver the appropriate ads to the appropriate people. Whereas for Twitch, it's just you buy it and it's just a blanket. You don't know who's getting it. You don't know what's going on. And I think there's only like 2 people on Twitch right now that are even buying ad spaces. At least that's how it feels like it.
Yeah, it's always
like
the same ads.
TD Financial or something like that, where it's like, do you like investing? Well, I've got this great app for you. And then I don't remember what the other one is, but it's just as boring.
Yeah. You're like, yeah, I don't care about that.
No, they are. It's an interesting special place over there right now.
Such is life. Such happens. I don't know. I don't do as much Twitch anymore. I eventually ended, and then one of my best streams ever was the one where I said I'm leaving Twitch. And I titled it "Leaving Twitch," and like a bunch of people came in and subscribed to me for the first time too. And I was like, that's the wrong time. They're like, no, come back. We want you to stay a content creator. And I was like, I'm not leaving creation. I'm just leaving Twitch. I'm moving to YouTube.
As far as many of them are concerned, you were leaving.
Well, they thought I was gone forever. And then, you know how I did my name change to FinnSowle? So I used to be known as Seaworm, and I did that because in all of my old gaming stuff, like the few games I did play, like chess, I would use the name Seaworm. That's because I played one MMO as a kid, and some random person named Seaworm murdered me. And so I stole their name. And I was immediately like, well, this is mine now. I'm yoinking it.
It's beautiful.
It's a great name. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And because I now had the name Seaworm everywhere, I don't know if you know this, but Seaworm's taken. Seaworm's taken on everything. Seaworm's
like,
taken on
yes,
everything.
perfect.
So I had Seaworm with a 0, and then that was also taken everywhere. And I have to be individual or I die.
Yeah.
So I was like, I need to do a name change, and I was thinking about that for a while, and then I decided on FinnSowle because it sounds like kind of like a pirate kind of name, and then Soli was something from like Soli with a Y at the end, and that was like a sailor's last name, and then Finn is just very similar to my name in real life. And I have people on TikTok all the time being like, "Did you rebrand? I liked your old name. Why did you rebrand?"
Oh, really?
I love Sandworm.
I think your new name's really good. I think they're wrong.
They can't even remember my old name. They're like Sandworm. Who's Sandworm?
They must have just thought the S always stood for sand.
Clearly. Well, it was spelled actually C.
Oh.
Like it was S-E-A.
Well, there's sand in the sea, you know?
No! Denied, rejected, 0 points. Negative points, actually.
I see nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, of course you don't see anything wrong with it.
So if you were about to go and start making some of your own content, like right now, like if you're about to go and start recording a video, is there a process that you go through ahead of time to like prepare yourself for it? As in like
come up
for the
with
content?
video idea. Come up with video idea is first step. I must come up with some sort of video idea. It can be something really stupid, but most videos I feel like should have like something you're working towards in it.
Okay.
So like it's easier to make the video if you kind of already know like where you sort of want it to go or what you want to happen, or just like something to fight. Like it's like when reading a book. If there's nothing happening in the book, you're often like, well, why am I reading this book? Versus if there's some form of conflict in the book, like, oh, this person's got a goal, they've got a desire, then it's a lot easier to keep reading the book. It's kind of like that. So I'll come up with some sort of goal or desire. I made this one where I was like, what if we spawned in an ancient city and then tried to survive past that? Okay, you have an immediate goal, desire. You want to live past the ancient city. You have the combat, the conflict, which is like, you know, there's going to be a warden. There's going to be no materials that you have. There's going to be, you know, all of this other stuff. So I kind of come up with that, and then it turns to who's available, because I tend to not make content by myself because I'm sad and alone, and I hate making content by myself, right? So
well, it's fun to be able to riff off people too.
I know, right? So then I'll go and message some of my friends. I'm lucky. I'm really, really lucky. I got some really, really cool content friends right now that I can mostly trust to be available. I say this, but then Cloud hasn't been responding to any of my messages. And I'm like, Cloud, my dude, my brother in flesh and blood. What's wrong? Why do you hate me like this? You know?
Have you ever thought it's maybe that Cloud does actually hate you? But he's just too
please
embarrassed
don't
to tell
say
you.
That. Oh, yeah, no, that would just be terrible. I would scream like that in real life. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. It definitely wasn't influenced by anything else.
So when you come up with your ideas for content, how do you decide what's going to be a good idea, or like what you think is going to be a good idea or not?
If it sounds fun. If it's something that I think I'll enjoy, then it's going to be a good idea. If I don't think I'll enjoy it, it's not going to be a good idea, because then I'm not going to have fun making it. And some of the best content comes when you're having fun. And I say this like hesitantly, because obviously videos where you know that you're just going to be in agony the whole time, like I don't know, like some videos like maybe where you're not allowed to talk about what you see or something might have an impact on things. But like for the most part, if I'm like, yeah, that sounds like something I would really enjoy like actually doing for a couple hours, then I'm like, this will make a banger video. and then I make it again, and it's a banger video because I enjoyed it.
Do you ever wonder if that video's gonna match with your audience, or you just kind of go with what you think fits for you?
Fits with me. I've thought about the branding stuff. I've seen a lot of people be like, oh, you need to make very specific branding and like a similar kind of content that your audience knows what to expect. But I am a person who changes a lot. So I was like, it only makes sense that if I were to garner viewers, I would want them to also expect changes a lot, because, you know, people change with interest. I would rather myself be the branding than like, you know, like any specific, like Hypixel Skyblock. I like Skyblock sometimes, but not all of the time. And I don't want my branding to be only Hypixel Skyblock. I don't want to post a video and then only be able to post Hypixel Skyblock. I would just be sad. Well, more sad than normal, but you know.
Yeah, more sad than normal.
Yeah, more
not
sad
to
than
laugh
normal.
at your sadness, but
yeah, no, it's fine. We all laugh at the sadness. That's part of being sad. It just comes with the sad job. You want to be sad? You must have people laugh at you.
Here's something I wanted to know for a while, because I've always struggled with this when it comes to my own stuff. What kind of advice would you give to someone who is just starting out as a content creator, who's trying to build a community?
Someone who's trying to build a community, talk to people sometimes. You can try to avoid talking to people, but if you really want to build a community, a lot of people really, really crave interactions, and you want to keep that community like super safe. So like, even if you, okay. So like specifically, talk to the people who like might first join, like, say you have a Discord. I definitely recommend Discord if you want to build a community, right? Because Discord's great for that. But then talk to some of the people in it. Just have a normal conversation. Oh, you found my content. Like, how are you doing? Kind of stuff. I'm not saying like make a parasocial relationship. You can bluntly tell them, like I tell them, I'm very blunt. I'm just like, guys, I'm not your friend, but I am curious where you got this one particular hat you put in this picture or something, right? And then keeping it safe is like really important, because people are gonna leave if they don't feel safe. So like, if someone's kind of suspicious and it makes you slightly uncomfortable, just get rid of them.
Yeah,
Don't even hesitate.
If they make you uncomfortable, they probably are making other people uncomfortable too.
And that's the end of FinnSowle, and subsequently the end of this episode. Finn, it was an honor Minecrafting with you, and we'll see you eventually on the other side. Hopefully not for a while. Just now we're gonna have to find another regular. Not that Finn had the chance to become a regular.